Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Uma. Today we're going to crack in on the free test, which is the last test that we have to do for the trainer aptitude test. We tried the extra test last time, we got very, very close. I do think that there's a B somewhere in our deck, I don't know that I'm going to hit it though. But for today, we're going to run free test, and free test is just what it says. It's totally free. You get points for G1, G2, G3 races, and opens, although I'm not planning on doing any of those. Every normal skill is worth 400, every rare skill is worth 1200, and then every attribute you get to 1000 or above is worth 1500 points, as well as our normal 10 spirit bursts for 1000. You can do anything you want on free test, and odds are, if you have a reasonable deck, you can probably clear it too. So since there's not really a lot of direction being given to us by the test, it's a good opportunity for us to keep building our team trials roster. We're only about 30,000 away from our promotion line to get into Class 5, and we have 4 empty slots on our team. I'm reasonably sure that if we fill these with B+ or A runners, that we will have no problem making it into Class 5 and getting a pretty decent chunk of carrots for our trouble. So today, I was thinking I was going to work on the medium slot. We have our front runner Daiwa, we have an end closer gold chip. We can pick any pace chaser or any late surger that we want, and I think one of the options that we have right now that is the best is going to be Mejiro Ryan. If we look at growths, we have 20% power, which means we can focus speed completely, and it's going to drag power up all by itself. 10% wit growth is nice. We're probably not going to bring a wit card for a medium runner because we need a decent amount of stamina investment, but it is a nice thing to have for all those turns where we just pass on wit. And then we have medium A and either pace or late A. So she's super flexible with where she wants to run, and she can fill either of the roles that we need to put in our medium team trials team. So that's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and hop into a career. We'll make sure that we're doing the trainer aptitude test with free test selected. We are going to run Mejiro Ryan. For legacies, we're looking for medium runners. We do have, I don't even need to use the filter because I've got the shoes. We've got our medium gold chip here. It's 2 wit, 3 medium with relevant hints. All 3 of these are things that we might want to consider buying. So we're going to lock that in. And then for our guest borrow, we have a few options here. We could patch up our long B to get it to long A. And Ryan does run a couple long races in her career. We could also patch up mile C to mile A, which would help us run additional G1s if we wanted to get a few extra skill points. But for the sake of just building a team trials runner, I'm going to keep it focused. I'm just going to look for medium 2 stars or above. And among these two, I have to imagine that McQueen is probably just going to have better affinity. So if we sort by affinity descending... Really? Okay, never mind. Even still, though, this is power, speed, stamina. That's a nice balance. It also has a turf spark on it. Saiyan, I know for a fact we're not going to use the unique. And then sustain power with super focused medium sparks. They look kind of the same, honestly. I am leaning slightly towards the McQueen, just because having the turf spark in here is nice. There's also a head-on hint that's buried relatively deep in the skills here. And while the parent sparks themselves are not super great, the corner adept is fine, straightaway adept we might buy. These I'm really interested in. Head-on would be good, all I've got is medium. The corner adept is good in general. Unity Cuff Spark is good, Nimble Nav, Corner Recovery. There's lots of good stuff down here further on in the inheritance tree. So we're going to grab this McQueen, and we're just going to go for big numbers. I'm not going to do anything super focused between speed, stamina, or power. I'm just going to try and maximize the blue sparks that we're getting out of these inheritances. As far as the deck goes, this is our current setup for medium team trials. I am pretty sure that I am not going to need a power card. She's already got 20% growth in power. So we're going to take our Kitas on borrow. We are 0% on speed, so I like the idea of using 4 speed cards here. I like the idea... Do I like the idea of Cafe? Because that could be Tosin Jordan. Because I think she has actual medium hints. Is this true? Tell me about yourself. Medium corners, medium straights, pace chaser straights, position pilfer. Those are ramp up. Those are all things that I'm actually very interested in. And then for the second slot, because Rico's been working well for us, we'll just keep running Rico. I see no reason to change that plan currently. So I think this is going to be our medium team trial stack. We're going to ignore wit. We're going to let normal wit training to manage energy take care of that. We're going to bring Rico and Tosin Jordan. Rico is functionally a stamina card. And then we're going to use these 4 speed cards to pull our speed up as much as possible. The benchmark that we're looking for mediums is 1,000 stamina and a gold. I don't have access to a good gold recovery skill in this deck. And in fact, I don't think I have access to a good gold recovery skill that works on mediums, period. Let's double check that. McQueen is long. Rice Shower is long. Gold City is miles, but I also don't really want to use Gold City. I feel like Tamamo has one. No. I don't think I have access to a gold recovery skill. That's something... do you give... Restless? No, you give Escape Artist. Yeah, we don't have a gold recovery. So we could borrow it, and then we could use 4 bad speed cards. We could borrow like a Super Creek here. But given that we have 20% stam growth, I may actually just try to hit 1,000 natively and see if that's good enough. So let's see how we go. Yes, I would like to skip this. So our stat target here is something like 800 speed, 1,000 stamina. Power, we're not going to worry about at all. Whatever power we get out of training speed, we get. But we should never have to burst on power. We should never have to train power unless it's a good, like, spirit training. And then everything else is just going to go into wit, including this turn, even though we're not building any energy out of it, because it's got the most supports there. That's a great speed. I don't even need to see anything else. And now that we're down on energy, we're looking for opportunities to recreate. Not amazing. None of these are amazing. This seems like our good recreate turn. Oh, hold on. There we go. Sorry, forgot I set an alarm to do this. We wouldn't mind grabbing power here, I guess. The higher we can get our power, the better. Neither of those spirit trainings impress me that much. I think I'm okay to just roll on wit here and keep preserving energy until we see a better spirit training, but I am concerned by the fact that we haven't done spirit training yet. We've got 1, 1, and 2. Okay, finally a turn where we can spirit train. Let's grab stamina. It's an okay power training. It's definitely better than everything else around it. We'll grab that as well. We do want to make sure that we've done enough spirit training to actually win Unity Cup rounds. That would be nice. We do not need the mood up, but we'll take the couple stats from it. It's an okay guts, it's an okay speed. This feels like a wit turn, just because those are at 4% failure. I wouldn't mind building a little extra energy, taking one more good training, looking forwards to our debut. We'll take energy out of this to continue building that advantage. Pretty bad power, pretty bad guts, pretty bad speed. Everything is looking fairly unimpressive here. This may end up being a guts turn just because it builds Biko and it has okay spirit training and friendship growth. One hint for curvature. It's unfortunate, but fine. Reduced fail rate stamina that does okay at friendship growth versus a wit that has nobody there versus a pretty bad spirit training at 12. This could potentially just be a rest. It's a little early for our first rest, but all of those training options are not very good, and I would not mind just getting all of our energy back, because then we can take good trainings like this. 15 skill points and stamina to spare. We probably won't be using that. Great stamina training. I think we take that for sure. I'm concerned about how little spirit training we've done right now, though. This first Unity Cup round feels like it might be a little bit of a gamble, as we skip the hint for mile corners that we don't need. debut should be okay. Not that worried about debut. It's that Unity Cup round at the end of December that I'm worried about. But let's see how we do. We'll run pace here. It does deny Ryan's unique. Actually, let's go take a look at the unique conditions. We'll be right back with Game Tora. Alright, we're back with Game Tora, and we're looking at Feel the Burn, which is Ryan's currently unleveled unique. The leveled version of the unique is Let's Pump Some Iron, which you will probably see all over the place if you do any kind of CM prep. But the idea behind both Let's Pump Some Iron and the unupgraded version Feel the Burn is that it is a pure acceleration skill. So all this does is acceleration. And acceleration only matters at very specific times in a race. It only matters at the transition to late race specifically, and at the immediate start of a race for frontrunners only. So for this unique, the big thing we're looking for is it consistent acceleration when late race starts? Because if it's not valuable. We have phase greater than or equal to 2, which means you're either in late race or last spurt. That's a good start. It can't trigger in mid-race, but it can trigger late and last spurt potentially. It checks if you're on a corner. If corner is not equal to 0, which is true in our conditions, then it triggers when you are not on a corner. Sorry, it triggers when you are on a corner, but any corner. So this will be a corner in late race. And then it checks your order rate. And your order rate is extremely precise here for Let's Pump Some Iron. If there are 9 runners in a race, you need to be specifically 6th in order for this skill to trigger. And I think in like an 18 gate race, you can be 6th or 7th, but it's very, very narrow. And the idea behind using Let's Pump Some Iron specifically, and then also using Feel the Burn, which has the same activation conditions, it's just a little worse, is that it's a skill that triggers in late race as you are passing somebody to move into 6th position specifically, rather than you being in 6th for a long period during the race. Given that those are the activation conditions, Feel the Burn really wants you to be a late surger. It wants you to run as far back as possible so that when late race starts, you pass other runners, you get yourself into 6th place specifically, and then Feel the Burn or Let's Pump Some Iron activates. However, since we're just doing career, I'm fine running in pace because pace is more consistent, and if we pick up a few other late surger skills, then maybe we'll switch to late, but I would rather avoid getting blocked just as a point of better consistency overall. It's something for us to look forwards to later on, but it's not really something we're going to worry about in our career now. Anyway, that's debut cleared, is the point. It's a long-winded way of saying we beat our debut, even though we were running pace instead of late and couldn't trigger our unique. This is a great stamina training. Let's continue building friendship. Let's get a hint out of Vodka. Vodka potentially has medium hints that she could give us. I believe she has medium straights and a few other interesting skills. Straightaway Adept is not as good as those, but it's still fine to have. And then we're into energy management. 15% even with Rico there, I'm not super excited about. 15% on Stam for that training, I'm not super excited about. I think this is good enough to just roll weight on. I really don't want to pass up Spirit trainings at this point, because we do have to think about this Unity Cup round at late December. And also, now that this is under 10%, I think I'd be fine gambling on it. Even though it's going to make this a rest, just because it picks up 2 Unity trainings now. It's also really good wit. I would risk a 10% on that. We're still going to have to rest next turn, because that's not nearly enough to recover our energy. But that's a good wit training. Maybe. If we see another good wit training this turn, we could maybe avoid it. We're taking default name this run, so assuming that we win the Unity Cup Finals, we're going to be getting No Stopping Me anyway. We don't need the hint from Nibble Navigator, we can just take the pure skill points. I don't think that's a good enough wit training. I don't really think any of these trainings are good enough. I would be happy to just rest and get all of my energy back in this case. And then, since we completely refilled our energy, we have no need to gamble on slow metabolism. It's too bad we didn't take that wit training, because we could have capitalized on that event really well, but that's the break sometimes. This is probably fine for Guts. It hits Biko Friendship, it moves Vodka into Rainbow territory, it also builds Spirit trainings for both of them. I don't love taking a Guts training that has that few people there, because it's really energy heavy, but I think it accomplishes a good amount of goals for us. The power training's okay. The speed training's okay. The wit training's also okay. I do kind of like the idea of this wit training moving Toast and Jordan into burst range and into gold friendship territory. But I also like the idea of this power training working on Rico's friendship more so that we can unlock recreation earlier. So I think I'm going to take that, given where we're at on energy. We can be a little spendy. We can always just take a good wit later if we see one. It's a fine stamina. It's also a fine guts. It moves Vodka up to burst territory. It also lets us train next turn safely. It doesn't consume all of our energy. So I would take the friendship progress and the spirit training progress on that over just rolling on wit. And then we'd really like to wit here if we could. It's not a bad wit, and it does put Toast and Jordan to burst. I don't really feel like taking a 10% on that power training, so let's just roll wit. We now have 2 bursts active. We could have 3 bursts active, but that's a really uninspiring training. That's an extremely uninspiring training. Are there races today? There is a medium today. It's gonna do weird things to our energy, though. But it's a race you haven't won yet, though. So what do our next 3 turns look like? Well, if we race, we're probably going to need to rest December early, which is fine, because December early is only mile races, and then we could still do the Hopeful Stakes late December. If we don't race, we can wit. We don't have to do anything December early because there's no races, and we could still run the Hopeful Stakes December. So do I think that this training is better than a race, giving us 11 stats total? Definitely not. Is there anything else I'm overlooking? I'm not going to take that guts, I'm not going to take that power, and I'm not going to take that speed. I don't think there's anything else I'm overlooking. Let's go knock out a 2,000 meter medium. 180 stamina is a little shaky, though. But I don't want to commit 162 skill points to being a pace chaser forever, when we know that our unique works better is late. So let's gamble on not buying stamina skills, and see if 180... plus being a late surger and just tanking the possibility that we get blocked is enough, because this will conserve a little bit of stamina for us. Let's see if that's enough to get us through. And then we just cross our fingers and hope we don't get blocked. Number 1 favorite is fine. Doesn't mean we'll win, but it's a good indication that our stats are where they need to be. Late start also doesn't particularly matter if we're going to be running as a late surger. We're going to make most of our ground up in mid-race anyway. And so far, positioning looks fine. We're way back. We don't really have to worry about pace down at all in this position, but we're ahead of the other late surgers, which is nice. Most of them, anyway. We are kind of lacking in mid-race velocity skills, but everything looks fine so far. We should be crossing the pace down threshold right about now, so we don't have to worry about getting too close to pace chasers. And then as soon as we hit this late race transition right here, we're going to be looking for potential unique activation because we're in 8th. So we're going to pass somebody to get into 6th at the start of late race. And as long as we're in any corner, we should still be able to hit Let's Pump Some Iron. Or whatever. We're going to miss it. Wonder if I was not in a corner. No, I was definitely in a corner. Interesting. Either way, at least we navigated traffic. It's still going to be a win. We'll have to do a little more exploration of why we didn't get our unique trigger there, because we were definitely in 6th, in late race, in a corner at one point. We'll figure it out. Ryan is not a character that I use very often, so it's going to be a bit of a learning process for me as well. -20 is brutal, but we were already planning on resting early December anyway. We do not need fast pace, that's frontrunner technology. We could also technically wait here. It's not very good though. We're just going to take a full rest, and then we'll either race late December or we'll train late December. We'll let the training facilities guide our decision. None of these look great. Stamina's okay. We're screwed for the first round of Unity Cup, by the way. We haven't triggered a single Spirit Burst yet. That stamina's not that impressive. This may be a race angle again. Do we have enough stam for the Hopeful Stakes? Tazuna thinks we're close to having enough stam for the Hopeful Stakes. Do we have any relevant skills that we could still get? I mean, we have like outer post proficiency, but that's a little bit too much gambling for my blood. We could pick up straightaway adept at 2 hints. It's just a little bit of velocity, hopefully in the mid race, to help us get through things. Let's see how that does for us. And then we'll continue running late here just to preserve our stamina and maybe get a unique trigger out of it. Hey, okay, good. By a length, great stuff. So as much as I would love to have better trainings, at least we have gotten some skill points and some stats out of races. It's also going to make our life easier for hitting fan thresholds later on, so we don't have to worry about them. I don't know where these 2 E-rank runners came from, but if they want to be here, that's fine. So Miles going to be alright. Should be alright. Medium should be alright. We're not really going to do much to help, because Toast and Jordan's stats are better than ours. And then we're going to have to hope for like 2 draws between the other 3. That's not great. And given that we haven't hit a single burst, this is scary for your first run. This is a case where I don't even think that I trust the fact that top is RNG. We're just going to take middle option on the first race, and then we're going to hope that everything else top is enough to get us through. Our spirit training in our first year has been not good, politely speaking. And not even for like lack of energy management, we just haven't seen a good spirit training. I think we saw 1 training that had 3 spirit trainings at it, and that was the best we ever saw. So we'll take 20 energy here, rebuild our energy stat, enable us to keep training. We're going to run the Junior Cup, which is cute, because we've already run a G3 and a G1, and we've won them. So we'll do a mile, which we don't actually have aptitude for. It kind of pulls me towards running pace, just so that we can try and take advantage of raw speed, but it's not that unusual to not win a race where you don't have a C aptitude for it. I'm not stressing that at all. I don't think that's an indictment of stats. We won the Hopeful Stakes. Like, what else do you want to see? A burst? Bursts exist? Holy cow. You gotta take that. It also builds Biko's friendship, which is great. That said, longer term, I do want to burst on stamina, because we have a big hill to climb for stamina, and we only have 1 stamina card in our deck. Like, Rico is a stamina card functionally, yeah, but she doesn't show up on stamina and do rainbow trainings, which means all of our stamina is going to need to come from bursts. We'll take this Wit because it does great on spirit training, also continues building Biko's friendship. But I think every single bubble we see from now on is going to go to stamina. And in fact, if every bubble we get goes to stamina, we can maybe purchase Burning Spirit stamina as a gold recovery. That would be a pathway to victory for us. This is also just a good stamina training. It's hard to turn it down in the face of a double rainbow on speed. So I think I have to take that instead. But I'm looking at Satsuki Show and Tokyo Derby, or Japanese Derby, and I'm thinking we need to be at like 300 to 350 by this point. So let's make sure that we're working on this problem. I can't burst on whip. That's not allowed. And if it's not allowed, this may end up being a recreate turn, because all of these other trainings look fairly bad, and our energy is dicey, but not so dicey that I want to rest. So let's take a recreation to fix our mood. That's perfect. This is also perfect. This is going to be a hint for a recovery skill. Unless we fail to pick up plushies 3 times, but It would be up to RNG, let's put it that way. Because it's not going to be up to me failing the skill check on grabbing them. Good start. I wouldn't mind seeing a big plush. But I'll take a gold plush. Good. So a big plush is going to guarantee us a great success. We don't have one, and I don't think any of those were gold. We'll just grab ourselves. And we'll hope that 5 is good enough. 6 is good enough for a big win. It should be. So that's going to be energy recovery, that's going to be straightaway recovery hints, that is going to solve a lot of problems for us. Good, good. That was a very nice turn. Let's take 10 speed. All pretty bad, although that works on Riko's friendship, so let's keep trying to get her recreation unlocked. Our stamina is an issue. We're probably going to have to... we might inherit some. I didn't bring stamina parents specifically, but we might get a decent inheritance here. Medium and turf. Oh, baby. This just became a very good run. So we probably have to pick up straightaway recovery here because our stamina is very scary. Let's grab that. This is a bunch of junk for miles. We don't really care about that. Outer Swell and Slick Surge are the kinds of things that are going to pull us into being a late surger. It's nice to have the hints for those, but we can't afford them right now, so we're going to ignore them. And I think, given that our stamina is low, we're kind of forced into running as a late surger. The Tazuna isn't even rating our stamina right now. We may not have enough to finish this race. Which would be... Never mind, we're fine. We're good. Actually, we had enough stamina the whole time. And Tazuna lies. However, we need to train heavy on stam, because the Japanese Derby is 2400. And the Satsuki Show is only 2000. So this needs to be stamina, stamina. That's a good start. That's a good start to what we need, and it's also better than all the other trainings around it. And then we need like a burst on stamina specifically. Show me. Oh, okay, alright. I'm not even looking at speed. I don't want to be tempted. We have to take that training just to survive the derby. Position Pilfer is another good late surger skill, I think. Tell me about yourself. Increased velocity mid-race. I love everything that's happening here. All of our skills are phenomenal so far. Let's take... Well, no, they might get cheaper, though. You don't... Your problem here is stamina. Your problem here is not skills. Your problem is stamina. You're at 400 speed, 360... You're at 380 speed, 370 power. Your stamina's the problem. Don't worry about skills for now that increase velocity. Just fix your stam, wait for them to get cheaper, because you're on a very good run right now. Third is fine. I'm just happy to survive. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be alive. And I'm happy to keep continuing career goals, because we have to look forward to the Kikuku show at the end of the year. This is long B. It means we're not going to be a super effective runner. This is also long B. We got some long races at the end of the year to start working towards. This is a discount off of Rika, which is nice, that also puts Biko to gold friendship and leads very nicely into the start of summer break. So I think we take this speed to turn on potentially triple rainbow speed trainings. Possibly quadruple rainbow speed trainings. I'm not sure where my last speed card went, but we definitely take this and then we rest. Here's our recreation unlock. It's a little late to do anything about now, but at least it's here. So we can use that to fix mood issues, and it's also going to build up our stamina longer term. We're definitely not going to burst on guts. It's Halo. Halo's our last one. That's a good guts training, but we're not going to burst on guts. We're going to take a rest. A full rest, because Rico's not enough to rebuild that whole bar. And then we're going to go into summer break. So we have burst twice so far. That is still not amazing. I really don't like seeing E rank runners as an ace for our second Unity Cup round. But maybe we're good everywhere else? Question mark. We also don't have choices to make on this screen anymore. We have to take top each time if we want to be rank 5 or better by the time we get to the Unity Cup finals. So we're just sending it each time. That's good. I'll take a 4 and 1. We're slowly repairing this run from the start that we had. Slowly getting better. This is obviously going to be stamina. Every single burst that we get goes to stamina. That's a lot of energy to invest in it, though, so we're really going to be looking to wit at least once. Possibly twice during summer break. It's good. It's horrible. Oh, okay. Well, if we take this speed training, we're still mostly safe to train next turn. And if we're not safe to train next turn, then we can rest, or we can take a good wit, and we can train on the last turn. If wit was anything on that turn, I would have taken wit. I really don't like burning that much energy on an okay speed training. I also really don't like a 15% failure on this stamina training. I also hate this wit training. Oh, this is rough. We're on a good run right now. Long S turf S is not, or medium S turf. It was medium, right? Medium S turf S is not something that's going to come along that often. That said, given that we're already on a lucky run, I really want to try and push my margins and take a few riskier decisions if the payoff is good, and this is a good payoff. Thank God. So we have to rest on the last turn. That's not ideal. I would rather train all 4 turns of summer break, but I think we made 3 very good trainings in the 3 turns that we had. I'm not going to do 73. It's just not going to happen. It's unfortunate that we have to leave that training behind, but that's the breaks. I think I would still take that stamina training every time. So I think that's all of our current active bursts consumed. We probably need to start getting back to building spirit trainings now. That's a pretty good wit for it. I don't like that Halo is not at rainbow speed yet. And this is also a good training. We have a lot of mood effect going on here. We're getting 24 and 7 out of it, but it jeopardizes our next training. I'm going to take it because I know that I need to be working on Rico. And energy being a little under 50, but not super under 50, is a really good time to use Rico to rebuild and keep rolling energy. So we'll take a little bit of a risky play. It's going to cause us to skip a great speed training. But I'm going to take a Rico instead for safe training options. I don't need to push my luck every single turn just because we're on a lucky run. We're aiming for probably, I was going to say we're aiming for 400 by the Kikuka show, and we're there already. So that's a good sign. And that this is a great speed training. It doesn't build as much spirit training as I would like. And there are slightly better options floating around here for spirit training. But this is working on Halo's friendship. We're getting an energy discount from it, and obviously it's a rainbow speed, so I think we're fine taking that to head into the Kikuka show. We're at 405 plus a recovery right now. I think that should be fine to get us through both of these. The other thing that we're looking forward to is the Spring Tenno, which we probably need 500, even 550 for. So we can't let up on stamina just yet. We're probably going to be training stamina most of this run, and we're just going to be taking opportunistic speed trainings when we see them. I say that having skipped a triple speed and a double speed so far. That's a stamina issue. We don't have enough. Losing by 8 lengths is a major indication that our stamina is not where we need it to be. I can only assume that we didn't trigger our recovery. Otherwise, we should have been fine there. However, that's a 3,000 meter race. The Arima is only 2,500. We should be okay on the Arima. We'll take Wit instead of Guts. I can't burst on power. That's a bad Wit training. It's a bad everything training. We're gonna Rico here to just keep rebuilding energy and progressing through that event. We're quote-unquote wasting a mood up, but I need to get through all 5 of these events if I want to get my maximum bonus from her at the end of the run. And then we can train twice, run the Arima, and get energy recovery in senior year. So I'm feeling okay about that. It's an okay Guts training. It hits 2 Spirit trainings. This only hits 1. You know what? I can take this speed. It's building King Halo to gold. It builds Etsuko a little bit, which will give us extra speed and maybe some stats at the end of the run. And it builds 2 relevant Spirit trainings. We can take that. And then I'd love to see a burst on stamina for my December early turn. No? It's not great. Not great. Not great. It's good, it's not great. I think this is just a stamina training straight up. It's good spirit training. Progresses Grass Wonder and Hishiakibono. We would really like to have ramp up over 20 stamina. We're getting net plus 15 energy by taking the first option. I can absolutely turn 15 energy into more than 20 stamina. So we'll take top, hope we get the energy, and then also ramp up. Hence, we don't get the energy. That's fine. Ramp up is still nice to have. And then, do we need to buy anything for the Arima? Position Pilfer continues getting cheaper. Rosy Outlook won't trigger because we're going to be a late surger. Familiar Ground, we're not a dirt runner, so we don't need any of those. I still think that our biggest problem is stamina. So I'm going to skip buying a lot of the good mid-race velocity skills and late-race acceleration skills. Oh no. Oh no. Try again. Not like this, man. Okay, thank God. Getting jump scared by blocks. We have significant stamina issues to work out, I think. Team is looking questionable. We're still so far behind on spirit trainings. We don't even have anybody at C on dirt yet. But this is what we gotta roll with. The prediction is mostly favorable. We're in there. Okay, good. One more hurdle passed. We're still working on overcoming our horrendous junior year, even now. But I think we might be starting to turn a corner. I need heavy bursts on stamina to get through that spring 10-0. I'm very scared of this right now. That's not a burst on stamina. You gotta do more to help me out here. This at least puts Kita-san to Spirit Burst. I think that's fine to take as a wit training. And I think I need to be choosy with my energy so that when a good training appears, I can jump on it. I do not want to see like 4 trainees in a rainbow stamina and not be able to take it because my energy is bad. Wet conditions is not great. I'll take power and skill points out of that. Stamina burst? No, but a good stamina rainbow training. We take that. That's pushing us closer to 500. I would be more comfortable at 550, maybe even 600. So let's keep working on it. What's our fan threshold like? 60? We may want to try and run the Osaka High if we can. That would bump us to 60. Or to 70. Not a good power training, not a good stamina training, not a good anything training, so let's just take a wit. We'll get a hint out of King Halo for it. It's a sprint hint, we're not going to use that. We can't burst on speed. We have to save every single burst for stamina if we want this to be a medium runner. All of these trainings are also quite bad, but I really don't want to jeopardize my energy with a rest right now. We might just take a really bad Rico. This might overflow our energy a little bit, but I really just want to pass turns until I see a training worth spending energy on right now. Burst on Wit is not going to be it. It is. Oh, I really can't take that. It's not a horrible Guts training. It works on McQueen and Silent Suzuko. This could also be a race, but it's a lot of spirit training to turn down for the sake of a race. It's definitely not a speed training. And we're at full energy. I think this has to be a Guts training, and I'm really upset about it. We're really, like, every turn we're falling behind on... Of course. Every turn I'm falling behind on spirit training, and I really need to take this. I'm gonna abandon the idea of leveling our unique. It's not as important as hitting the stamina threshold for the Tenno show. What good is getting 70,000 fans on early April if you lose the career on late April? So let's take a safe play. We'll give up one level of our unique, which is probably not that impactful anyway. Nimble Nav hint, another medium S. Good stat gains. We're at 558. With an okay wit training to just preserve energy, a crazy guts training in terms of the supports that are there. Oh, I think I just take the wit and then we cross our fingers on the Spring Tenno. It's stamina 10. I'll take it. I'll take any stamina I can find. 568. It's a little shaky, but it might be okay. We have no great recoveries to take. 777 triggers way too late on the Spring Tenno. Is now the time that we think about buying some insurance. We pick up like Position Pilfer, Slick Surge, and Outer Swell. It could be. Let's grab all of these just to lock them in. Maybe if we run out of stam, a little bit of velocity will give us just the tiniest of extra kicks toward the finish line. Okay, again, I'll take it. And we lived. That is enough stamina to finish the race. Distance over Cafe just means we're getting beat by a plot armor Mejiro McQueen. Okay, we can breathe. We have enough stamina for the rest of the run. We can now focus on Team Trials benchmarks, which is still stamina, but it's like stamina where higher is better, and it doesn't necessarily mean we just straight up lose the run. It's an okay wit. We're definitely not taking that speed. It's a crazy stamina, but not for 16%. I think I'm fine rolling on wit here because it builds spirit training. Even if it doesn't actively rebuild energy, I'm fine just taking that. We're only team rank B right now, which is not great. And as much as we need stamina, I don't think that's even a stamina training worth chasing. I don't think any of those are trainings worth chasing. This may be a rest. We do still have 2 charges of Rico, but we can find opportunities to fit that in the second half of the year if we run into a mood down. I would love to keep at least 1 banked, and keeping 2 banked would be fine. So let's rest. We'll take 1 good training early June if we see it. Otherwise, we'll just go into summer break with full energy. That's okay. We get an energy discount from Rico out of it, which isn't bad. So let's go to 600. At the end of the career, we're going to be at 700. We're going to get about 100 from Rico plus end of career benefits. If we can train about 100 more stamina from somewhere, a gold recovery will get us right in there. So let's go run the Takara Zuka. It feels nice to win a race again. It's been a deceptively long time since we actually came first in a race. So that feels nice. This career profile is going to look like a graveyard by the time we're done with it, but stats are stats at the end of the day. Everybody is C, except for Taiki. We don't really have to make any shifts here. We're obviously a lock-on medium with Turf S, medium S. It's a decent prediction as well. And then if we see speed trainings in summer break, we're taking them. We've spent almost an entire calendar year prioritizing stamina, and we still need to prioritize stamina. But I would also like to train some like triple and quad rainbow speeds. A double rainbow is honestly still pretty good. I am going to be greedy, and I am going to try and burst on stamina later, because I think this is a very effective training with Rico there. Just don't let me down and never show me a burst on stamina ever again. That's also a really nice wit training. I'll happily take that to preserve energy. There's our burst on stamina. It's also good. Holy cow, actual good luck during training. We didn't think we had the technology. This probably needs to be a wit on the last turn. I think it's going to be too risky to be anything else. Not a great wit training, but it does put Haru at burst, which is kind of nice. So let's do that. That has us at like 670 stam. What are we at? 673. So we're still looking for... maybe like... oh, it's a triple rainbow on speed, though. And it's only 13% to fail. You have to take it. Oh, we're in there. Okay, good run. We're back to good run territory. This has to be a full rest, though. Rico has really been cooperating with the trainings that she showed up at. Homestretch haste I don't care about. I'm not going to buy that, so just give me the guts. Guts 10 is fine. This can't be a Rico. We need the full energy back. So we're really going to have to cram Rico into these last couple days. Okay. Late Surger Savvy is sick. A burst on stamina is sick. It's an amazing stamina training. It puts Rice and Ishiakibono to burst. And then our energy is going to be too low to train, but this can be a Rico, because we actively have to use Rico charges up right now. It's coming together. Things are coming together. Can't take that. Not going to use any of those bursts. Don't worry about what Wit is doing. You can't really do that right now. You got to fix your energy. Good. And then if this training's bad, I'm just going to Rico again. I don't care. I'm crazy. It's not that good, but it's a burst on stamina. I think we eat the burst on stamina. And then we Rico, and then we Wit, and then we Arima. This definitely has to be a Rico. There's no other option. How did we still get Ignited Spirit Speed? I thought it was the number of skills that you burst on. Is it just your highest team rank? Huh. I could be completely wrong on how Spirit Bursts work. I'm going to have to go and look those up later. I thought it was whatever you consume the most Spirit Bursts on, but there is no way that we burst on speed more often than stamina. So it has to be what your highest team rank is. And stamina is just our highest right now. Let's use our last Rico charge. It's a good thing that we overshot our stam threshold a little bit then, because now I'm not going to get access to a blue recovery. Down after using Rico is so insulting. Oh, give me the full rest. Alright, we're gonna have 3 more turns. We didn't even hit the final fan threshold. That's brutal. Alright, take me into the Arima. Show me results. Burn an alarm clock on it. It's not negotiable. Oh no. Oh no, it's all falling apart. No, man, no. That run had everything. Oh, that's brutal. That's so brutal. Well, here's the upshot. This is probably going to be a B rank runner. which means that we could use her for CM. If we're going to use her for CM, she's going to need more stamina recovery. So that would be Soft Step, even though Soft Step is not great. And that's it. Late Surger Savvy would be, well, Late Surger Savvy would be okay. Is there anything more impactful? Yeah, you could get Nimble Nav. Nimble Nav would definitely be more impactful. And then which of these is true for the upcoming CM? Firm is, but you can't afford it. Outer Post is random. I don't think you're going to be able to buy any of this other stuff. Yeah, you're just going to have to gamble on Outer Post. Man, I want to be disappointed, but our training, I actually don't think this was the right deck, now that I think about it. We had to force stamina so hard because we're only bringing 2 on a character that has 0% stam growth. I think this was a doomed deck from the start. I think that we need to drop 1 speed card for a stam card. And then when we've done that, we can heavily prioritize speed to make up the difference. But I think we can trace this to an error in deck building, fundamentally. It's a low B. But the upside is that it's potentially a CM runner, because she should have enough stam to get very close to finishing the Arima Kinan. You can be a G1 winner. You're also going to go in our team trials team, even though there's obvious room for improvement there. You know what? This may also be a case where Rico needs to be a second stamina card. Because our training budget is so tight that we cannot afford to run Rico when she doesn't contribute to friendships. Like, the idea of being able to recreate with Rico is nice, and the energy discount is nice, but at the end of the day, she doesn't contribute as many raw stats as an actual support card does. And so we may want to think about doing like Tosin and Cafe, or Tosin and McQueen, even though McQueen's recovery hints aren't really appropriate for a medium runner. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. What did we do for Gold Ship? Because Gold Ship is plus 20% stam. So we got away with 1 stamina card on Gold Ship, but 725 is also understammed. So that's not really great either. This runner needs revision. And then this Daiwa, we also know we need to rebuild. She was running 2 stam and power, but has growth in speed, which is why we could get away with 3. I'm in a weird place with my medium decks right now. I'm going to have to experiment with those a bit more and find something that actually works. But in the meantime, we can slot a team trials runner in. We also still managed to get C rank on the trainer aptitude test. I kind of clicked past it a bit, but we did manage to lock that down. Let's go run team trials and see if this is good enough to put us at promotion line. And then we'll come back tomorrow. I have quite a bit of deck building to think about, because I think there are some pretty wide margins for improvement in the way that I'm building mediums. That's really close to promotion line. I think if we can get a slightly luckier team trials run, we are in decent shape to fight for promotion. This person has unlocked every trainee. They have Wedding Mayano, they have Haru to 3 stars, they have Curran, and they have Gold City. But they're only in class 4. I have support cards. I think you're going to have a bad time. Wow, okay, they just know exactly what they're doing. Holy crap, what did you beat me with? Show me what you did. What are you doing down here? Is this like somebody's Smurf account? I'll take the 5 carrots, but I'll come back and check that later. I need to see some things first. What are you doing with your medium runners? Oh, they do know what they're doing. Holy cow. Okay. I don't feel nearly as bad about that then. Well, we won the long. Yeah, you tried. You tried to get the stamp threshold on long. The sprint stamina doesn't matter. This El Condor Pasa. It's a pretty scary L. What deck are you working? Oh my god. What is... How are you down here? Multiple good SSRs? What are you doing in class 4? I can't be mad. We got outgamed by just a better gamer with more resources. I'm just surprised to see them down here struggling with me. Pick up alarm clocks. Sprint shoes. We don't do a lot of sprinters, so let's grab that. Let's head back to team trials, use up our last 2 charges, see if there is something that goes above 360k on us. I could be using parfaits and stuff for this to try and get a better score. I don't think it's necessary. Like, it's only Wednesday. We have 3 empty slots now in our team trials team. We can fix these problems. It's not a huge deal. Give me one more big score. How's everybody unlocking all these trainees, man? What the hell? Where are you getting these from? 345 is not quite high enough. But the jump from just adding a very bad Mejiro Ryan to our team is impressive. So I think as soon as we add one more team trials runner, we're gonna be in there. This might be the run. That's the run. Okay, we're above promotion line. We're probably not gonna stay there because there's a long time left in the week still, but we're at least above promotion line 4 now. By a very thin margin. Let's go grab our daily races. Let's knock all these out. Show me... Where's the good Taiki? Are you the good Taiki? Yeah, you're the good Taiki. That looks like 6 wins to me. And then we'll go and grab our thing. You know, the thing? The trainer aptitude test rewards. The thing. Japan Cup, we should run that all the time. Medium racing shoes, we run those all the time. We don't need those. Alright, let's go hop over to trainer aptitude test. Grab our final progression rewards. That's an extra 100 carats. If we can find a way to get to B on the free test, we can get a little bit of extra stuff. If we can find a way to get to B on both, we can get more. I don't know how possible that is with 14 hours to go. In fact, I think the event is going to be over by the next time I record one of these. But still, here is how we finally wound up. A on sprint mile, B on medium long dirt. Long could have been A. C on extra test. I don't think we're getting to B. We could have done B on free test, though. There's room for improvement. And again, we only took 1-2 attempts max at each of these. I would say that I'm not playing like most people play. I'm going to skip the gold crystal shard. I don't think I need that. So do we want... I might just buy 3 trainee scout tickets, because we're still missing some 1-star and 2-star trainees. And pulling is fun. I'd rather do that than the star pieces. So the point is that odds are, if you're doing like 2 or 3 runs a day, you probably did better than I did at the trainer aptitude tests, and that's okay, because Uma is in large part just playing the margins and odds on your runs over and over again until you get something good. So what we're going to work on next time is I'm going to build a team trials runner. Or, sorry, not a team trials runner. I am going to build a CM runner. I am going to build a champions meeting runner that is designed specifically to participate in the champions meeting when it starts. It is going to be special week. I'm going to explain why I'm going to use special week when we record tomorrow. I'm also going to go through all of the steps that I go through when I'm doing CM prep. So it's going to be about 30 minutes, probably at the start of the video, of just pure narration and looking at other guide websites and resources. I'll put timestamps in that video, because if you're not interested in it, I'm sure you're going to find that very boring. But I think it'll be interesting to try and approach CM as somebody who started, 2 weeks ago, something like that, walk through some of the things that I'm looking for prep, and turn it all into what is hopefully a serviceable runner. So if you're looking forward to that, or you're just enjoying the series in general, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. If you have any questions about the game in general, suggestions for how we could have improved that Mejiro Ryan deck, because I think there's a pretty wide margins for improvement there, or you just want to talk about CM prep or the game in general, drop me a note in the comments. Till then, I've been Chef, I'll see you in the next one, and have a good rest of your day.